Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. When we learn Dhamma, time to time, and we repeat some suttas, so we will have the more understanding. It to refresh our memory. So then what we can do? Maybe we can. It becomes more easier to practice. Okay, so that's why couple of suttas. This continuous time, I will try to repeat. These days, I am reading Majjhima Nikaya, so we will try to learn suttas from Majjhima Nikaya. Okay, so this sutta I have done before also, and we have learned. It's a beautiful sutta, and it is completely related to our day-to-day life. How to practice Dhamma in every day, or what should be there to be done. Like so many people have that hesitation, and this sutta is the one who really talks about the problems that we face, well, not we face, but our mind thinks, and how to overcome of that. This sutta is about, this sutta's name is called Sabbāsavasutta. All the defilements. Okay? And this is the sutta from Majjhima Nikaya, sutta number 2. We will learn what the Buddha explains here. Evam me suttam, thus I have heard. Ekam samayam bhagava savathyam viharati jetavani anathapindika sarame. At one time, the Blessed One was staying near Savatthi in Jetasugo, Anathapindika's monastery. Under that occasion, the Supreme Buddha addressed the bhikkhus, and they replied, yes, Bhante. The Venerable Sir, as they replied, and Buddha explained to them. What Buddha says, Sabbāsavasutta pariyāyavo bhikkhave desisami. Because I will teach you the explanation of the restraint of all defilements. Defilements, the thing that creates the bad karma, or creates the or becomes the obstacle, or becomes the reason to stay or suffer in this samsara. Okay, like there are 5 defilements we can talk. So kamaraga patiga, sakkaya ditti, vichikichcha, silabata paramas. So those are the things. Those are created continuously. That so Buddha is explaining that I will teach you, I will explain you how to restrain or how to get rid of all the defilements, all the problems for the holy life. So listen carefully, apply your mind well, and I will teach you. So everyone says, all the monks say all that time, yes, Venerable Sir. And Buddha explained to them. What the Buddha says, Janato aham bhikkhave passato asavana khayam vadami no ajanato apassato. Means some of the times that people may say that Buddha, whatever it comes to his mind, such a thing he has said. But Buddha, what he explained here, Janato aham, knowingly, means what the I know properly, very well, such a thing I explain about ending the defilements. The Buddha knows how the defilements can end, knowingly explains that. I say that the ending of defilement is for one who knows, for person, the Buddha explain what he knows very well. And for whom he teaches the Dhamma? He teaches the Dhamma to someone who can understand and learn from it. And what is that? So Buddha says, who sees it very well, who understands this very well. For such a person, it is there. That person who can learn, can understand, he can get rid of his defilements. You know, not such a person who does not see, means who is blind in Dhamma's eyes, means who says that I'm born here, there is no duty to do, nothing is there, and live, eat, enjoy, and die. That's all someone has that mindset. For such a person, defilements can never be ending. But if someone understands, yes, this is the root of all the problems, this is the one that is dragging my life or dragging this the whole journey of samsara due to this defilement, then such a person who understands that can get rid of this, that can end the defilements, And for what? Who knows and what sees? So kinchi bhikkave janato kinchi passato. And what the person is seeing or knowing, and by that, how can someone finish their defilements? Buddha says these two things. Yonisocha manasikara, ayonisocha manasikara. The rational application of mind means wise consideration. Irrational application of mind, unwise consideration means all the things thinking in positive way or negative way in the life. That is called. So rational applications, what is the properly happened, that. So if someone have ayoniso bhikkave manasikaro uppanna cheva asava uppajjanti, anuppanna cheva asava uppajjanti, uppanna cha asava pavajjanti. When person applies the mind irrationally, defilements arise. And once arisen, they grow. That happens. If we don't think properly, like a simple way, if you say, if two people are talking and the conversation does not seem to happen as they are thinking, or one of them is understanding every meaning or taking every word in wrong way, what will happen? The dispute in between them will arise. Anger will arise. Hatred will be there. Why? Because they are not understanding each other's word properly, or they are not taking the meaning out of that. So what happened? What was the conversation was happening? They are not understanding. They are not putting the positive mind in that moment. And if they already had that misunderstanding previously, then it will be increased. This will be happen in more stronger way. And then definitely there will be. So anger develops like that. So that is the one of the example we can see. When we do not put proper mind, when the irrationally we think, then defilements arise. When you apply the mind rationally, yonisocha bhikkave manasikarato, anuppanna cheva asavana uppajjanti. Then a defilement doesn't arise, and those that have already reasons are given up. That happens. How? When mind is properly applied to that. When we understand something, then there is no misunderstanding in that. We understand, and we can think properly, and we can work on that. So when we do such a thing, our problems, our defilements finishes. Like spontaneous anger or such a thing will not solve the problems. But when you put our mind in positive way, that will help us. Then Supreme Buddha says, Atti bhikkhave asava dasana pahatamba. Atti asava samvara pahatamba. Atti asava patisevana pahatamba. Atti asava adivasana pahatamba. Atti asana parivajjana pahatamba. Atti asana vinodana pahatamba. Atti asava bhavana pahatamba. What does it mean? Some defilements should be given up by seeing, some by restraint, some by using it, some by enduring, some by avoiding, some by dispelling, giving up totally, and some by developing. So all the problems cannot be solved in a one single way. We have to categorize it, how to deal each problems in our life. Defilements, these are all happen because of our way of life, how we are living, and we cannot get rid of all the problems in same way. Like when we are hungry, then we have to finish that hunger by eating something, food or something. We cannot do that by washing our body. When their body odor, when we are looking dirty, then we cannot get rid of that by just usually going to sleep. No. For such a things, for each and everything, we have to apply our mind that individually. When you are hungry, then you eat. Then your hunger will subside. When you are feeling dirty or smelling, the bad odor is coming, get washed. When you are tired, what you will do? You will sleep. So those are problems. And what we do? We solve it according to that way. In a same way, the problems arise in our life, the defilements comes, or these defilements exist, and we can get rid of them according to where they are coming from. So Buddha says there are 6 ways to do that. How many? 7 ways, sorry. 7 ways are there to do that. One is by seeing it. Like every day we are looking at, in the same way, looking at that, not with these eyes, but with Dhamma eye, we have to look. Some of that is studying. We will learn what are those. What Buddha says, defilements given by seeing, okay? Given up by seeing. Dasana pahatava asava. Katamecha bhikkhave asava dasana pahatava. And what are the defilements that should be given up by seeing? So Buddha says, Ida bhikkhave asutva puthajjano aryanam adasavi aryadhammassa ovido aryadhamme avinito sappurisana adasavi sappurisa dhammassa akovido sappurisa dhamme avinito. It means there is one person who is not following the Buddha's teaching. The person who doesn't know how the noble one lives, how the noble one are. He is not willing to see them, like a person who doesn't know the Buddhism. And you ask them, let's go to meet a monks. How that person will react at first? If he doesn't know anything about, he will retreat. Oh no, I don't want to go. If you have seen who doesn't know the Buddha's proper Dhamma, and someone has mentioned to them, or you go to the monks and they teach you something like that, it doesn't cope with your this modern life or something, then what will happen? Immediately, oh, I don't want to see the monks. So such a thing, this person. So asutva putajjana, who doesn't know the Dhamma, such a person does not want to see the noble ones, does not know what the teaching of theirs, and he does not know how the training is. What are their training is? They don't know. They don't know the true person, sappurisa, the good person, the wise person. They don't know about them. They don't know what their teaching is, what their living is. what their practice is. So such a person, what he does, मनसिकरणीय dhamme nappajanati. Amanasikarniya dhamme nappajanati. They don't understand to which things they should apply the mind, which things they should not apply the mind. Because of not knowing the Dhamma, whatever comes in their mind, they utilize it. They utilize it. Like simply, Buddha says, there is no soul, there is no creator, there is no someone supreme God. But because of doesn't know about Dhamma, doesn't know about these things, doesn't know about how this appearance, how this suffering arise in our life, what happened? People, wherever they born, they have this tendency, oh, this world has created by someone. We are just the puppets. Everyone is providing something like that. This thing, this body is with the soul, and it is a divine one. Nothing can change, nothing can harm. Such a mind setup comes because of not knowing properly. So, what they should think of and what they should not, what they where should they apply their mind and where they should not apply the mind. They have that misunderstanding, they don't know about it. So, when manasikarniya dhamme appajananto, manasikarniya dhamme appajananto, ye dhamma na manasikarniya, te dhamme manasikaroti. Because of they don't know where they should apply their mind, what they do, where they should not have applied the mind, they applied in that. Like Buddha says, if you think about more and more about anger, then there's a chances. When you see about someone's wrongdoing or more and more about that, then there is a dispute. So automatically that happens. If the person doesn't know where to apply their minds, they do. Because of that, what happens? Unreasoned, these defilements started to appear, and which exist, which will increase, it will develop, And what kind of defilements will be there? So, defilement of sensual desire. Sensual desire. Like someone is developing lust. And what is the reason behind developing lust? Because that person is thinking about it more and more. Where the lust arises, where desire arises, is giving the chance to grow. That's why they are growing. Hatred or desire to reborn. Desire is bhavasava. Anuppanno va bhavasava uppajjanti. Bhavasav, it means to reappear again and again. Rebirth is not a proper word in Buddha's words about reappear or bhava. It is rebirth. It means taking the same person to be born again. Now, rebhava, it means because of cause and effects, because of the condition, someone is appears. But we do not have the proper word. Or reappearing, it means coming back, something like you can say. But rebirth is not the true or proper word for that. So the bhava coming to the existence again and again. And how this? Simply think like this person constantly has mentioned, exists somewhere, here or there, wherever. Because we are strong-willed people. What we do? We want to exist somewhere. We do not want to disappear. We do not want to impel. We want in any form, our name should be there or our existence should be there. That is the desire we have. And that happens because the society, how it is thinking due to that. It is in small ways, small things, small words, it happens. Like you go to the aquarium and what you see? Beautiful fishes you see. And what comes to your mind? Oh, they are free. They don't have anything to worry about much. We don't see their suffering, but what we see? And immediately that mind comes to, I want to be born as a fish. Young kids, very young childs, they says, I like this Nemo, I like this small fishes, and I want to be like that. First they say, I want one of them. And then they say, I want to be like that. What happened? Our parents also ask, do you want to be fish? Do you want to be such a person? Most of time when the people are in distress, they say birds, they don't have any worries. They have their wings. Wherever they want, they can fly away. And immediately in our mind, first thing appears, oh, how beautiful their life is. They can go anywhere without any difficulties. But their problems, we do not think. What is this? It means our mind is thinking of, let me be born in that way. That is called bhavasava. Bhava ashrava means desire to be, exist, stayed in any form in this world, that is called. And then avidya asrava, because of not putting the mind in proper place, what happened? Ignorance. Ignorance also comes to existence. And it extends, it increases. This happened because of where we should not have put our mind. We have placed it. Buddha says, when we place the proper mind, when we think, when we put the mind, then automatically this unreasoned sensual desire or existence of power or desire for existence and desire or ignorance, such a thing will disappear when we properly apply the mind. But why the people thinks in this way? What is the thing? They usually think they apply their mind in this way. So evam ayoniso manasi karoti. The people who doesn't know the Dhamma, usually they place their mind in this couple of ways. It happens in our day-to-day life. Sometimes we simply utilize that word, or sometimes we use it in a more profound way, or we tell ourselves or we tell others also in that way. Our thinking is that. So evam ayoniso manasi karoti. That is a wrong way to see it. What is it? Ahosi no ko ahang atitamadhana. Did I exist in the past? Or I exist in the past? Or I did not exist in the past? It is there. I wasn't in previous. I born here, I was in the past. How was I in the past? What was I was in the past? After being what did I become in the past? Means birth to birth or my previous birth. Some of the time we immediately say, I was not in the past. Or some of the time, oh, I was there, but how was I? How was I? In a various way we think. We can simply understand by that. Will I exist in the future? Then, will I be? Most of people say, no, I don't want to. But even though they are placing their mind, will I not exist in the future? So in such a way, when the person thinks, it is not useful for us to think in that way yet. No? But because of applying in their mind, that happens. Or they undecided about the present thus. Even the people doesn't know where the present is. Because mind has placed in the past and mind has placed in the future. They don't know the proper thing about this human world. They don't know about that I am a human being born into this in this time, and this is the thing that I'm doing the good and bad karma. They don't know about that. Or I am. This is me. I am not. This is not me. What I am, right? Because of soul, without soul, such a things is appearing there, how am I? How this form has come to bear? The sentient being, where did it come from? Such a questions people's mind arise, and where will it go, and where it will go? So the sattva, when they talk about the soul, simply Buddha saying soul is not existing. So this is such a conversation happens in someone who does not have faith in the Buddha, does not understand the Supreme Buddha's teaching. Due to that, six type of, or one of the six type of thinking or vision or view arise in one of the type of these six comes to their mind. What is it? The view of myself survives, myself does not survive. I perceive the self with the self. I perceive the self with what is non-self. I perceive what is not self with the self, and uh, so such a way this is me, this is this is myself, and I am seeing at myself, or I am seeing or looking at things, which is mine or myself. In such a way, the person thinks of that thing, like when someone is meditating, doesn't know the Dhamma, they do such a things. They say, okay, I'm looking at myself, I'm seeing outside or such a way. So many this comes, so many visions they develop. So this is the one thing. And because of thinking of this is me and myself, the one view strongly appears that, and that is that this soul, yo me ayam atta vado vadeyo tatra tatra kalyana papakanam kammanam vipakam patisangvedeti sokupanad me ayam atta nicho dhuvo sassato avipiranamo sassati samam tatheva sassati. This self is mine. This self of mine is he, the speaker, the knower, who experience the result of good and bad deeds in all different realms. This self is permanent, everlasting, eternal, and imperishable, and will last forever and ever. Do you see? Do you understand what this is saying? This is the heart of eternal life, because someone is the creator. And what is the concept of that creator is? Same way we talked about creator. But who is the creator? We are in that moment. And we don't understand. We agree with all the credit. Because of not knowing true Dhamma, such a view comes to existence. And because of this ditti, because of this view, the defilement creates more and more. Such a person who thinks in this way cannot learn Dhamma, cannot free from suffering, cannot end this journey of samsara. But the person who is a Suttava Arya Savaka, the noble disciple, when he plays the proper mind, where the Buddha has mentioned, where should be mind is placing, he plays the mind. And what happened? Because of that, his defilements which is arising, or unarisen defilements does not arise. Reason defilements automatically destroy slowly. And what are those? That karma or desire, sensual desire or desirable, desire for what you call sensual desire or desire for existence, and ignorance. Those things finish it. And what is the thing that Buddha says yoniso manasikara? Yoniso manasikara is that idam dukkham, this is suffering. Idam dukkha samudayo, this is the cause of suffering or origin of suffering. Ayam dukkha nirodho, This is the cessation of suffering. Dukkha nirodha gamini patipada. This is the path where leads the cessation of suffering. That is the thing we have to wise consider. We should apply our mind on thinking of that. When that happened, the yoniso manasikara, what it does, it give up, it finishes because of this wise consideration, because of this yoniso manasikara, three fetters, three things are finishing. Fetters, it means that which is not which has bound with us, that fetters. Like previously I said the defilements, those are the fetters you can say. What is that? Satkaya Ditti, Vichikicha and Silabat Parama. Satkaya Ditti, this is me, this is my. Previously, what we thought, the thinking, that Satkaya Ditti is finished. Doubts. And about the practices, the people make different practices. Like they are observe the 8 precepts, and I will not wear the sleeper, or I will walk barefoot. Such a way that they say this is my precepts, but those are not. So that doesn't help for the enlightenment. So those are called in a way silabat paramas. Even for the couple of precepts when they break, that happens. So Buddha says this is the thing. By looking, we can get to know. We look ourselves, our view that way, but when we could properly apply our mind on yoniso manasikara in a wise consideration, or applying the rational mind in a rational thinking, then these things, by looking at these problems, looking at these defilements, can be given up. That is the first thing. Dasana pahatam. Okay? This is very simply explained. So you can read a couple of times and you can understand. Then Supreme Buddha says, Samvara pahatapa. There is another way to finish or given or restrain our, given up our defilements. That is called by restraining it, by stopping it, I don't want to do it, or protecting it from working on that. And what is the defilements given up by restraining? Buddha says, by eyes. Our eye, what it does? It always looking, always seeing. And whatever it sees, what happened? All the time problems comes. You will see some lustful thing, and then lust will arise. You will say hateful things, and hatred will arise. Isn't it? You will see that some people are following wrong path, and it is tempting one. Then what will you do? You will also follow that wrong path. So it simply happens. If you see something wrong, immediately the thinking of that wrong, it will be in your mind. Where is that? It wasn't there. It wasn't there. That wrong thinking was not there. Where it come from? It come from that outside source, because your eyes are seeing it. Ear is hearing those things. Nose is smelling them. Your tongue is tasting it. Your body, the tangibles, your body is feeling that. And your mind is thinking. So Buddha says, to stop all this, you have to restrain your eyes. You have to restrain your ear. You have to restrain your nose, tongue, body, and mind. By how? Isolating these things. I do not want to see. I want to avoid these things. Avoiding those things. Okay. I know this will happen there. I don't want to do. I know. So by doing this, what happened? For the distressing and feverish defilements that might arise in someone who lives without restraint of the mind faculty do not arise when there's such a restraint. So the common person who does not restrain, what defilement arise in there? Who is restraining? For them, it will not be like so. It is very easy. And if you go to the concert, what will happen? You will see everyone is drinking. Everyone is enjoying, behaving in a very wrong way or something. And if you have made a promise that I will not drink, like, that the people who go to the AA meetings, so what happened? They have a couple of rules simply. Do not be associated with a drunken person. No? Why? Because if you stay more time in there, the desire for that will come to you. So immediately call to your sponsor. That happens. Usually they mention that. So that person will help. The Buddha says restraining is the same way. That is only for one thing. Here it is then whatever the karma, whatever the things that is causing a increasing the defilements, for such a things to avoid of them. If you want to live the brahmachari life, if you want to live the holy life, then you have to behave, you have to act in a such. So Buddha says, when you restrain yourself, yang his bhikkhave samvaram asangustasya viharato upajjayama asavadikara. So by doing that, restraining that, what happened? The suffering or the problems will not occur to us. That is called the second way. Restraining, by restraining, giving up our defilements. Third one says, patisevana pahatampa, defilements given up by using. So some of the things by using it, like different techniques we use to get rid of. Like when we say, when you get angry, what we usually say, apply the mindfulness or develop loving kindness. But when you are truly instantly angry, then we say, drink a cup of water. What happened that time? Our link of that continuous anger subsides. There is a couple of younger persons now is coming to the monastery, and he said, I'm a short-tempered person. But since I'm coming here and I'm learning the meditation and those, one thing I started to do, whenever I have disagreement or dispute with family members or friends or anything, and the anger is arising in me, I said, just give it a minute. I will go for washroom and come back. Just stay here. Don't go anywhere. I will be. And I go, drink water or go to the washroom immediately. That what the anger was arising, it's not happening anymore. And he says, and I'm doing these things since I'm coming here. And now the family members are seeing, I have seen a few changes in you. He's a very strong-minded person. But doing that, he's not getting angry anymore. And he can properly place his things. He can properly say what he want to say in there. So such a thing by utilizing some of the techniques. So, and in this sutta is mentioned, utilizing what we utilize: the cloth, the food, the shelter, or the sleeping mattress or medicine. These things we utilize. But if we utilize it for the wrong purpose, what will happen? Then that will cause the problems and problems only. So Buddha says, the robes what we use, either bhikkave bhikkhu, patisankha yoniso, chivaram patisevi. The robe what we use, the purpose is that. What is the purpose? To protect ourselves from, only for the sake of weather, warding of cold and heat, for warding of touch of flies, mosquitoes, wind, sun, reptiles, and for covering up the private parts. That is the true form for the using clothes. But we have made it fashion. We have done something else. Never enough clothes that we have in our closet. If you go for somewhere and you always say, I don't have anything to wear. Why is that? Because that what the perception we have created toward this world, we have to present ourselves. And because of that, We judge people due to their clothing, These are all because that is the true meaning to wear the clothes. I'm not saying you should not utilize the clothes in that way, but I'm saying the perception behind it, mentality what behind the clothes should be in that. I'm utilizing this cloth to just to protect my son. Same goes for the food. Delicious, eat delicious food. Nice. Utilize the different things, Have those things. But keep in mind, this food is only to sustain our body. Keep our Dhamma practice continuous. Buddha has mentioned in here for the month, it is necessary. If we develop that, then just food or taste, so many things are. So by the food, what defilements comes by looking at by utilizing it, we can get rid of those. For the shelter also, where we are residing, those things also we have to see in that way. And Gilana Pacha, the medicine, what we take, if we utilize the medicine for the wrong purpose in wrong way, what happened? Intoxication happens. Drugs, what we call. There is a drugs good also and bad also. It's bad thing. So why I'm utilizing this medicine, we should be aware of that. When the Buddha says, when we utilize such a thing, these things with the proper understanding, then the defilements which is not horizon, they finishes, they does not appear, which is horizon, it finishes. So ime vuchiti bhikkave asava patisevana pātamba. By utilizing it, by using it, the defilements can be finished. Then his fourth one, it says defilements given up by enduring. Adivasana pahatamba. Endurance, Let me endure all the things in there. What is it? Buddha is mentioned here how to endure. Endurance is very difficult things. It's not common. It's not easy for today, because we have a lot of options. It's very difficult, and especially for monks in this today's condition, and especially for food, it is very difficult to restrain. Why? Because in Buddha's time it was there, but today all the delicious and good food. What time they cook? They cook it after 1 o'clock. So once you go somewhere else, every time you see, oh, that food, you will never find barbecue at early in the morning, will you? No, you will find at night. So if the monk has to endure, so the hunger, such a things is there, that is there, comfortable things. That happens, it's common thing. But Buddha says endurance. Okay, so for what? So the endure cold, heat, hunger, thirst. They endure the touch of flies, mosquitoes, wind, sun, and reptiles. They endure the rude and unwelcome criticism, and they put up the physical pain, which is sharp, severe, acute, unpleasant, disagreeable, and life-threatening. They endure, and that will some of the time. We don't have to be baby for all the time. Whenever the smallest cut happens, oh, I'm going to die. Not like that, So some of the time, by enduring, we can give up our defilements. See, these are things. It looks very easy to say, but when we actually doing, are really difficult. Really difficult. And one thing, if you are trying to do, it does not happen. All things with but the one cause, what? Yoniso manasikar, with the wise consideration, this is possible to do. Then Buddha says, parivajana pahatamba, by avoiding it. I don't know. So avoiding it, you can get rid of some couple of defilements. And what is this? If there is happening, there is very heavy rain, and there is going to be accident. Will you go there? You will avoid that. If outside there is a hailstorm, then you will say to your kid, go to tuition. Doesn't matter outside, whatever happens. No, you will try to avoid it. If there is a flood, what you will do? You will avoid to go that region. Like couple of days, I want to go to the mountains. But now in the mountains, there is a heavy rain. So there is a lot of, land sliding is there. So I'm restricting, means I'm avoiding to going there. Mountains are beautiful, time to time. But in the storms, in this thing, in very difficult, if you know that there is a grizzly bear, will you go to say hi and hello? No. If there is a polar bear, will you to go and talk with them? No, you will avoid. That the Buddha says. What? The mendicant, take a mendicant to reflecting rationally, avoids wild elephants. You don't have elephants, so that's why I say the grizzly bears and polar bears. Wild horse, you have that. Wild fox, no, ox, you don't have that. Okay, wild dogs. Rarely you will find the coyotes and wolves are there. Wild dogs, you don't have that. But others dogs, you do. Pit bull and all those, you have to avoid. We avoid those things as soon as we see. That's the Buddha is saying here. Snakes. Snakes, we do avoid them. Then stumps or thorns where they can, harm us. Such a thing we avoid. The pit, the cliff. For the thrill, we do that. For the heart who is not that strong, what they do? They avoid. Who is frightened of height? Will that person will go there? No. He will avoid the heights. That's the Buddha is saying. By avoiding these things. In the same way, what happened? Where this defilement increases, they avoid sitting on inappropriate seats. Like if you are practicing celibacy life, will you go to such a place where it is very difficult to do? You will not go. Why? Because your celibacy is more important than that. If you are restraining something, if you are saying that, like I can give the example of a meeting, that is these things. You will not go there. You will not go there. If you want to study, if you really want to succeed, will you be having the friends who is constantly engaging in parties? You will not. You will make some different friends. You want to be a good person, you will not engage with such a people who does not want to make you good. So that's the Buddha is saying. Walking in inappropriate neighborhoods and mixing with the bad friends. Whatever sensible spiritual companions would believe to be bad sinning. That is the Supreme Buddha said, Agocharecha papake nitya patisankhayo niso patichi. By looking at that things, this will calm me. Going there, sitting there, meeting with such a bad friends will harm me. Thinking with that, this person's avoid it. And that is true. See, Buddha's words, even we do not have certain things we do practice and certain things we avoid. By learning the Dhamma, we can understand that. In sixth one, Buddha said, Katamacha bhikkave asava vinodana bahadava. Dispelling it, totally getting rid of it. What is the getting rid of it? Kama vitakam. Whenever the sensual desire appears, so kama vitakam, he does not tolerate it when that is happening in this mind. No, I do not want that thinking. Let me engage my mind in somewhere else. That happens, sensual thinking of sensual desire, it's very time consuming and very desirable things. People get addicted of such a thinking. Young age, old age, or even in that bed also, people have the such a thing tendency to think about this sensual thoughts or desire. Lust is there, it's always. So, because of yoniso manasikara, what it does not tolerate the sensual thinking, there are avyapada, malicious, the hateful thinking, and vihinsa, to the harming someone. Such a thoughts does not let that happen in his mind. That is called. Whenever it appears, he immediately get rid of. That is called defilements given up by discovery. Such a things we have to instantly take decision. I do not want to hurt myself. Let it go. Saying no, not avoiding, not tolerating, nothing, not looking at that, but removing it from our life. That thing Buddha is mentioned here. For what? Sensual desire. For the householder person, like what as a family, you have to engage, that is okay. But if the thought is there to sensual misconduct, get rid of immediately. It will harm you. But certain times, Buddha says sexual misconduct. It happens when the body is engaged, not because of mind. Let me have that. And then we started to think of those things. Everyone thinks. It's not shameful thing. Everyone thinks in that way. So, Buddha says such things we should not tolerate. Such thoughts we should not tolerate. That thing. Hatred, whenever it arise in our mind, should not tolerate. Immediately we should remove that. Vihinsa, to hurting someone, we should remove that. That is things by Vinodana Pahatapa. And last one Buddha says, Bhavana Pahatapa, by developing, by practicing, by placing the mindfulness, what is it? 7 things we should place our mind on. We should develop mindfulness. We should develop the meditation in 7 places. And what is it? Sati Sambodjanga, developing mindfulness or awakening factor of mindfulness. We should develop Sati Sambodjanga. Dhamma Vijaya Sambodjanga, investigating of teaching of Buddha. We should practice that, investigating. That is not happened here commonly, but we have to develop it. We have to practice it. What? Whenever we are thinking, let me think of Dhamma, what the Buddha says regarding this. Then, Virya Sambodjana, effort or energy we should develop. For developing for what? For Yoniso Manasikara. Developing this energy for what? To get rid of these unwholesome defilements. Getting rid of fetters. For that, strength is needed, and that strength comes from the energy. Developing rapture. When you practice Dhamma properly, your body feels relaxed, or your mind feels relaxed. Nothing is worrying me anymore. I'm not hurting anyone. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm happy in this moment. That simple happiness is there. I'm happy in this moment. That happiness comes to the body also. Some of the time you may notice, if you haven't done anything wrong, nothing has caused anything, and you have done something good in that moment, mindfully, you are very happy. Automatically the smile will be in your face. That happens in everyone's life. Okay? That happiness. And you feel all the fatigue you had, that also has subsided. You are not tired anymore. You're relaxed. Anyone asks you how you're feeling, you will say, I'm simply happy. I'm happy. I don't have words to explain it, but I am. That is called passaddhi, tranquility. With the mind and with the body, it comes. Tranquility is there. That should be developed. And then immersion, concentration, jhanas. Jhana should be developed. We should place our mind to think of first jhana, second jhana, third and fourth jhana. We should place of mind of that. And then equanimity. And equanimity, which relies on seclusion, fading away, and cessation, and repent as letting go. That viveka nisitam, viraga nisitam, nirodha nisitam was sattva parinama. That should be done. Buddha says, when this is developed, when this happened, this is called ime uchati bhikkave asava bhavana bhatata. By developing this, the unwholesome things, it does not arise. Defilement is getting rid of. Buddha says, when the bhikkhu get rid of this, utilizing these 7 techniques, what happened is all the defilements are finishing slowly, utilizing one technique, each technique one by one. Ayam Vuchati Bhikkhave, such a person who has finished by utilizing all the techniques, such a person is Vishnu. Supreme Buddha says, Bhikkhu Sabbāsavasutta viharati Achenhi Tannam Vivattiyam Sayojanam Samma Manavi Samaya Antamakasi Dukkha Sati. They are called the mendicant, or they are called the monks who lived having restrained all defilements, who has cut off craving, untied other fetters, and by rightly comprehending conceit has made an end of suffering. So they have made the pact that I'm going to finish this suffering. Nothing is there. So they are enlightened beings. Because utilizing these 6 ways, what they have done, they have finished their defilements. When there is no defilements, there is enlightenment. So when the Buddha says, this is the way to finish suffering, the monks were delighted in Buddha's words. And they were very happy. They said, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, as a devotee of Supreme Buddha, as we are learning the Dharma, what we should do? We should investigate it in all these 7 things. We should try to apply these 7 things in our day-to-day life. Not as a monks will do, but as a householder, with their limit, you should practice and should learn the Dhamma. May this Sabbāsavasutta be helpful for all of us to get rid of all the defilements. May this sutta be helpful for us to have the pleasant practice of this Dhamma. May this sutta be helpful for all of us to develop the wise consideration and get rid of unwise consideration. May this sutta be helpful for all of us to realize the 4 noble truths in this Gautama Buddha civilization. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.